Welcome back to the Relaxing Ghost channel here on YouTube. Today we got another top 5 list. Before we get into it and down to business, take some time, hit that subscribe, guys. It's going to be our top 5 favorite Royal Rumbles. Complete shows, not just the Rumbles themselves. So, this was a pretty easy list for me. I have my favorites. I have ones I like, ones I don't like. These ones, no problem for me. So, like I said, guys, take some time and subscribe. Comment down below what are your top 5 favorite Royal Rumbles. You know, whether it's 2018 or 1988. Your answers are never wrong, guys. Your favorites are your favorites, and that's that. You could be different than everybody else, or you could have the same as everybody else. You are never wrong when it comes to your favorites, and that's what makes these lists fun. Everyone has a different opinion. Everyone likes something different. So that's how I put it. I always like to hear everyone's thoughts. So I will give you my top 5 here, and then I will give you a couple of honorable mentions. So at number 5, I got the 2010 Royal Rumble. Overall, excellent show. It's one of those shows I think is a bit forgotten, and people really just say, oh, it's the one, where Edge returned and won the Rumble, but overall, solid show. Gets a thumbs up from me. And if you can see this, it's not a part of the list. But 2010, we had solid undercard, but I really like this show overall. We had Sheamus and Orton, Undertaker and Rey Mysterio, The Miz vs. MVP. Really, really good pay-per-view overall. Number 4, I'd like to slot this one a bit higher, but I guess number 4 would be not too bad. It's going to be the Royal Rumble 1998. A hell of a show. This is like the show which kind of starts where I started. Where I started, really watching wrestling. And I look back through 98, more towards the middle of 98, but once I got caught up with all the 98 stuff, I looked to Royal Rumble 98 as kind of a starting point to where kind of I started watching wrestling. And if you started in 1998, you were watching some great stuff here. We had the Outlaws versus the Legion of Doom, The Rock versus Ken Shamrock, and then we had the casket match, Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. Fantastic. Great picture there with Taker and Shawn. Of course, this would be where Shawn Michaels injured his back. It's a really fun Rumble throughout the night. Everyone's looking for Stone Cold, and they can't find him. And Austin does this thing where when he enters the Rumble, he enters from like the announce desk, and everyone's watching. They got their backs turned. Austin comes in, fist flying and all that, and really, really cool stuff. That was really the beginning of the Austin era. And yes, you see me pick up the Royal Rumble anthology set. And with our next pick, unless you have the WWE Network, I do not. This is the only way I could watch this next pay-per-view. Number 3, man, I really wanted to put a Taya at number 3, but I just can't. It's going to be the 1992 Royal Rumble. And if that's a bit high for you, it's not for me. It's because I really didn't watch wrestling during that era. I acknowledge, it's probably the greatest Rumble of all time. But pay-per-view full show, I don't think so. It's a classic show, nonetheless. And it's the most watched Royal Rumble probably of all time. So, of course, we had Ric Flair winning the Rumble and winning the WWF Championship. And with a tear in his eye, this is the greatest moment of my life. The card itself, look, let's run down it here. Orient Express versus the New Foundation. We had the Mountie versus Roddy Piper. The Beverly Brothers versus the Bushwhackers. Legion of Doom versus the Natural Disasters. And then we had the Royal Rumble itself, with Ric Flair winning the championship, like I've said. Ric Flair lasted over an hour, I think 60 minutes they have it listed here. I think it was just over 60, maybe 61. But it's a hell of a Royal Rumble. You got Hogan, Shawn, Ric Flair, Tito Santana, Ted DiBiase, the British Bulldog, Shawn Michaels, Kerry Von Erich, Greg Valentine. Piper was in it, who won the IC title earlier in the night. Jake Roberts, Superfly, Undertaker, Macho Man, Sergeant Slaughter, Sid Justice, and the Warlord. Probably one of the most stacked Rumbles of all time. Number 2 and number 1, if you know me by now, you know that I'm a big fan of the Attitude Era. You know what my favorite WrestleMania is. And this is going to be no difference here. But number 2, I just watched this last night and I don't know. I love it. I don't like it. I love it. But number 2 is going to be the Royal Rumble 2001. Stone Cold's third Royal Rumble win. The undercard is incredible with the ladder match between Benoit and Jericho. You got Triple H and Kurt Angle for the championship. Edge and Christian versus the Dudleys. This was an awesome Royal Rumble and a great watch. First couple honorable mentions. The 2004 Royal Rumble with Benoit winning the whole thing. You also had Shawn and Triple H and I think Last Man Standing. In 2017, 2008 are some honorable mentions here. And number 1 is going to be Royal Rumble 2000. It's just one of those shows that I absolutely love. And that's why it's at the top of my favorites. With Triple H and Cactus Jack in a street fight. The first ever tag team tables match. We had the debut of Taz. Triple threat for the IC title. I could do without the Mae Young puppies. But The Rock winning the Rumble, yeah, it was predictable. But, I mean, this is a hell of a show. Both must watch here. I mean, if you're a fan of the Royal Rumble, go back and watch all of these guys. Like I said, comment down below some of your favorite Royal Rumbles. We'll talk to you later. Peace.